Then over here you have your relax mode, which will bring you into a more of a spa kind of vibe. Listen to this. Suddenly we're in Thailand and getting massage somehow. I don't know if that is supposed to be a part of the My Mode program, but somehow it is. Now to the important mode, sport mode. That makes it more, let's just say, interesting. But before we get any further, I just want to give you a brief overview over the BMW i5, the new BMW i5. This is not any ordinary car. This is the 5 Series from BMW, and that means the upper mid class of luxury is always looking at BMW. How is the next 5 Series going to look? How is the next 5 Series going to perform? And this is it. Let me just take you around the looks first. It's now starting to rain, but we will continue a bit further in the rain. Okay, so from the front here, it's now back to a normal grille size, and I love that. The new headlights looks good, and you got these vents down here, which is like an air curtain around the car, I think, just to make it more aerodynamic. And you got, yeah, a bit of cooling, not too much. This is an electric car, so you don't need that much. Yeah, so there is a bit of plastic, obviously. It's not like a induction for cooling. It now starts to rain pretty bad. We will continue a bit further. Then down the side here, you have some sort of an emblem here that is an M. I heard that is for marketing. You can see it here. You can probably tell me what it is, but I heard it's a call sign for marketing within BMW. Then going further down the side, it's really starting to rain now. You got this. This has always been a problem on the BMWs. Looks like crap. Go a bit further. Around the back here, looks. This is my favorite angle, to be honest. It looks really great actually from the back. Not a fake exhaust or anything. It's just clean. The lights is like pure BMW. You can see, you can really see the 5 Series come to life here in the back, and good angle. And then all around the car you have these blue logos because it's an electric car after all. Okay, maybe it's time to go inside now. I'm getting wet. Jesus. Why did I choose the worst possible day to do this? It is Denmark after all, but it's just been good weather for what, 2 weeks? And then one day you have to record. It's obviously gonna be rain. It's always like that. Let's clean up the lens a bit. Maybe it's now time to explain you about something here in the inside, while the weather is getting better. Okay, now trying a new angle here from the rear passenger side. Tell me if this angle works. It looks pretty great to me. Okay, like this. And turning on the car so you can see a bit about the i5 on the inside. This interior on the i5 is probably the best interior I've ever sat in. Well, almost. Because this interior looks like the one from the BMW i7. And that's not a slight compliment, that's a huge compliment. It's overall really good quality in here. Like, there's no squeaks, there's nothing, no cracks, no weird sounds. Just quality on all panels. It looks, it feels, it's just good in here. It's not on the level of the i7, obviously, but it's up there. It's definitely on top of Mercedes and also definitely Audi. I would say Audi has fallen off on this point compared to the price. With this brilliant weather, I think it's time to try the launch control. Spinning up the rear wheels a bit. well, it's still pretty calm with the traction control off and in full rein. Yeah. And again, this is not a sports car, so it makes sense. This is a comfortable cruiser. One of the things that this BMW i5 is doing really differently from any other electric car is that it doesn't feel like an electric car. This feels like a big saloon of some sort in a luxury manner, but with an ICE engine. The reason I'm saying that is that this car doesn't feel heavy like any other EV does. Most EV drives really similar. They are really hard in the suspension because the car is really heavy. This car is also heavy, but the way that they have adjusted this suspension, or the way they have built this setup, it's impressive. It feels comfortable and just glides over bumps really well, and it doesn't feel heavy. It feels like maybe 1800 kilos. That is also on the heavy side, but this car doesn't weigh that. This car weighs 2.1 ton or something like that. So that's pretty impressive. And then down in the center stack here, which is piano black. Not the best. You have one button which is really important. You have to push this every time you drive. Take the speed limit warnings off and take the lane warnings off, and you can do that really easy, and they've made that easy. And if you don't know why is this always on, it's because it's a regulation from the EU. So it's just nice that BMW have made it easy for you to turn it off. Then you have your My Mode button, and that is obviously going to bring you into this array of different modes. So if you feel a bit sporty, or I feel efficient, or I feel expressive today, or I feel relaxed, I would say I feel expressive right now, and the car transforms into this state where you can hear music. And if I push the accelerator here, you can hear how the car just and it just makes you feel more expressive somehow. Yeah. What pure nonsense, yeah. Well, it's time. I feel expressive at this point, so time to go into the expressive mode. Why? It's like, okay, it's fair that you made like one of these modes. You had fun in the develop department. But they have literally made like 1, 2, 3, well, efficient also, 4 useless modes. Or efficient is actually pretty useful in that sense that it turns everything off if you actually need the extra range and you can't reach your destination. You will get some extra range. So this car is, at this moment here, we have a 463 kilometers left on the battery. It says here we have 86% battery. Let's say we will go in here to the efficiency maximal range mode, and it will give us 529 kilometers now. That's actually quite pleasing to see that you'll get so much extra range. And the reason why you can get all this extra range is because this car has now turned everything off. No climate system. There's a speed limit now in the car. You can only go 90 kilometers an hour. The throttle response is absolutely non-existing at the moment. And I can imagine you can't even hear anything on the radio. So you will get that in the efficiency mode. Then over here you have your relax mode, which will bring you into a more of a spa kind of vibe. Listen to this. Suddenly we're in Thailand and getting massage somehow. I don't know if that is supposed to be a part of the My Mode program, but somehow it is. Listen to the spa mode. Okay, so I'll give it a bit of throttle. Ridiculous. Yeah, don't think about the seatbelt. Don't drive without a seatbelt, gentlemen, folks. I would say this mode is absolutely necessary. I could not live without it. Back into the modes. Then you have your digital art mode, which will transform the car into this purple cluster. Fuck. What is this? And why do we need it? Get me out of this. Okay, now to the important mode, sport mode. The nice thing BMW do here is that if you want to activate sport mode, it will automatically also deactivate the traction control, and that makes it more, let's just say, interesting. Who would that be? Who would that idiot be who throws stones all over the road? Thank God he's not here at the moment. And the sport mode will also turn the car both red and blue on the interior lighting here. So you also have that. If you look up here, you have the new screens from BMW. On this side you have the iDrive system, you can call it that, the new iDrive system, and you can connect wirelessly to Apple CarPlay, as I have done at the moment. But you also have the 1000 apps that this car comes with, like in the i7. But the main thing is, this is extremely good. It's really up there, it's really good, it's really responsive. And they have made something different this time. They have made the climate system in here more simple, so it's more easy to control what kind of climate you want, and that's good. How do we turn this off again? I still really want a shortcut button to this climate system, maybe down here or down here, that could be nice, but yeah, you have it up here, it's not a big deal. Then up here you have your driver display, and that is filled with BMW gadgets. You have your small notch to the M badge by the colors up here, and you have this weird graphic, which is like it's been reversed for the last couple of years, and it's the same here. And then you have the big fat steering wheel here, which is on the thick side, I should say. And you have physical buttons up here, which is working really well compared to Mercedes and Volkswagen and all their ID cars. Okay. Driving now here in the BMW, I will point you to the most interesting feature about this car. Most electric cars, or some electric cars, has these paddles on the back, which in most cases are for recuperation. And that means you can turn up and down in how much the car is recuperating. In this car though, you only have one pedal, and it's on the left side. And this pedal says boost. And when you push this, no matter what mode you're in, you will get a 10-second, let's say we're going into efficiency mode here, you will get a 10-second boost. And then when you have made your overtake, of course without blinking, or when you have made yourself really noticeable in your companion on the road's mirrors, the car will go from the boost mode, and then back into the mode you were in before. So let's say you were in efficiency mode, you'll have the 10 seconds of boost, but then when you're off the throttle, it'll go back into efficiency mode. And that's clever, I must say. Really smart. And then I got a bit curious. Okay, what's up if you're in sport mode already and then you push the pedal? It actually feels like you get an extra punch of power and even more throttle response in these 10 seconds of boost mode. Okay, let me just show you this game console, which is the new thing here. If you have kids that are hard to entertain with, you can buy this car and the kids can play on the screen up here. Or they could just look outside the window as I did when I was a child. But I guess this is more interesting. Look at this.
And your car will be your console. Choose one of our exciting games using your phone. And let the games begin.
What the? Okay, so the BMW have now become a PlayStation also. And this is a BMW after all, so I figured why not try out some Benz. I know this car is not sporty, but it's supposed to be a bit sporty. It feels nice driving on these small roads, but it's not a sports car. It's not a aggressive driving experience. It's more like just a refined, very refined, relaxing experience. But that said, this BMW can do some impressive stuff. It's just you get a slap in the head. It's a different experience than most other electric cars because you got this Hans Zimmer sound, you got this boost mode button thing, and you got this really, and that is the best thing about this car, you got this really nice tuned suspension, and it's just good. What? Now the good weather is back. The new BMW 5 Series is a totally new car. That means you'll have no parts from the old car. And the best thing about the new 5 Series is that you can see it's still a 5 Series. It just looks like the same old procedure. The same car as last time.
The same procedure as last year, Miss Sophie?
The same procedure as every year, James.
Yeah.
The side profile here of the new i5 just looked like, yeah, just a 5 Series. And because we're in 2024, we of course have to have something totally useless and over the top. And therefore BMW have made this 5 so you can see it's a 5 Series, if you haven't noticed. Around the back you'll have this huge compartment, which is to be expected. And down here you have your charging cable. Okay, you also have a huge front end of the car. Do you have a front compartment up there? Well, let's take a look. Well, let's just take my bag here to prove how much space there's up there. Okay, opening the front here, and then we open up this thing, and you'll have this huge cover here. But under this cover, BMW have made it so goddamn smart to, you just have to take this off. It's pretty easy. They have made this compartment here, which is really smart actually. You just have to put this thing to the side, and then you can store your bag down here, and then you just simply put this bag on top. It's pretty easy actually. I don't know why nobody has thought of this before, and then it's all good. It's genius. I don't know why nobody has thought of this before. It's And there's just so much space down here, so you can look at the back, it's all safe and good down here. It's absolutely brilliant. It's even so smart, so sometimes you have to, it's hard to close, but then you have to make a safety check then that you have done it right. So you go back in here and pull the handle, then back out here, and then you check, okay, is everything's good? Everything is in place, okay? Then just give this a good smack down, and then you're all ready and set to go. Another thing where BMW really excels is that they have now on their electric cars throughout the years really worked on this air brake. This air brake kind of charging port, it's absolutely genius. So when you forget to close it on the motorway, everybody can see, and you automatically also make a bit of downforce. But one thing though, where BMW actually excels is their charging. They are charging with 205 kilowatt hour, so it takes like 0 to 80% in 30 minutes. But the good thing about the new BMW electric cars that they can charge with a 22 kilowatt in AC charging. So at home you can charge the car in 4 hours. And when you compare that to most other electric cars, which is like 8 hours or something like that, or might be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, 4 hours is pretty good. And in this i5, this is the i5 eDrive 40, so you'll get 340 horsepower and you'll get around 80 kilowatt hour battery, and that will give you an estimated range of above 500, and it seems to be quite good, the range actually. You're not gonna get maybe 500, you're maybe gonna get more like 400 and 450, but it's up there, it's on the high level of distance EV driving, I would say, so that's good. Okay, so can this new BMW keep up with the old standards? Oh yes, oh yes. This new BMW is maybe the second best electric car I have ever driven. And that's because I have driven the i7, and this i7 is number 1. And this car is so much based on the i7. So yeah, it is a really good car. And yeah, you should try it if you're thinking about buying an electric car. It has some flaws, but this car it's cool.